My sister's feral kids destroyed $4,000 worth of my property in 1 year, and she laughed in my face. So when she showed up at my New Year's Eve party tonight, I didn't open the door. I handed her an invoice through the chain lock and told her the cover charge was $4,000. I'm not a person who likes conflict. In fact, for the last 30 years of my life, I have been the family peacemaker. I am the one who smooths things over. I am the one who swallows my pride to keep the peace at Thanksgiving. I am the one who smiles when my boundaries are crossed because family is family, but everyone has a breaking point. My breaking point wasn't a single moment. It was a slow, agonizing accumulation of shattered electronics, stained furniture, and sewage water raining down on my Christmas ham. My sister, let's call her Brenda, has 3 children. I love my nephews, I really do. But Brenda does not believe in the word no. She subscribes to a style of parenting that she calls gentle guidance, but which the rest of the civilized world calls negligence. Her children, aged 6, 8, and 10, are not guided. They are wild animals released into domestic environments to test the durability of modern construction materials. They scream, they break, they conquer. And Brenda just sips her wine and talks about how she refuses to stifle their natural energies. For the last 2 years, every single time Brenda has visited my home, something has been destroyed. Not oops, I spilled a glass of water destroyed. I mean catastrophic, expensive, negligence-based destruction. And every single time, Brenda has laughed it off, blamed me for owning nice things, and refused to pay a single dime. The escalation began last year at Thanksgiving. I had just bought a new TV. It wasn't just a TV. It was the first major purchase I had made after getting a significant promotion at work. It was a 65-inch OLED, 4K, paper-thin beauty that cost me $1,200. I had mounted it on the wall with the care of a museum curator hanging a Picasso. I was proud of it. I had worked hard for it. Thanksgiving Day, 2 p.m. The turkey was in the oven. The game was on. Brenda's kids were bored. They had been running laps around the kitchen island for 20 minutes, screaming at a pitch that makes dogs' ears bleed. Can they play the Switch? Brenda asked, pouring herself a glass of my good wine without asking. She didn't even use a coaster. They need something to do. Sure, I said, trying to be the cool aunt. Just tell them to use the wrist straps, and please tell them to be careful. The TV is new. They'll be fine, she dismissed, waving a hand. They play video games all the time. 10 minutes later, I heard a scream of rage from the living room. It wasn't a playful scream. It was the guttural roar of an 8-year-old who has just been hit by a blue shell in Mario Kart. Following the scream was a sickening, plastic-on-glass crunch that echoed through the house. I ran in. My 8-year-old nephew was standing there, face red, chest heaving, pointing at the screen. He had lost the race. In a fit of gentle expression, he had whipped the Joy-Con controller at the wall. He missed the wall. He hit the center of my brand new OLED panel. The spiderweb fracture was a work of art in its own terrible way. The picture was glitching, lines of dead pixels bleeding down the screen like digital tears. The sound from the game was still playing, cheerful victory music mocking the destruction. I stood there, frozen, holding a basting spoon, my mouth open. Brenda walked in, took a sip of wine, and looked at the $1,200 disaster. She didn't gasp. She didn't yell at her son. She didn't rush to check the damage. Well, she said, shrugging, that's why I don't buy nice things until they're older. You really shouldn't have bought such a fragile TV if you knew kids were coming over. Fragile? I choked out, my voice squeaking. Brenda, he threw a controller at it. It's an electronic device, not a tank. He was frustrated, she said, patting her son on the head as he started to fake cry to avoid trouble. He's working on his emotional regulation. It's a process. Don't make him feel guilty, or he'll repress his anger and develop anxiety. Don't miss how they destroyed other things, and I finally decided to serve her the bill on New Year's Eve. If you click away now, you will miss the disastrous bathroom flood that ruined Christmas dinner, the itemized invoice that made her husband turn pale, and the glorious moment I locked her out in the cold while the rest of the party celebrated inside. The revenge is just getting started. Click here to watch full video.